What's up, YouTubers? Out there in old YouTube land? What y'all doing? You having a good Thursday? It's Thursday, ain't it? I think it's Thursday. So, what's happening with you? Are you enjoying your week? Are you having a good week? I hope you're having a good week, because it's a good week to have. I mean, it's downright beautimous here in the great state of Texas. And by that, I mean the great state of Texas. And it is a great state at that. Well, I tell you. So the train horn, it's one of those things that you just, it's the dude's past the crossing now. Okay, there it is. So I got a train horn too on my pickup, and I can't wait. I'm gonna go down there, sit at the tracks, and wait for the train to go by. And when it honks, I'm gonna honk. We'll see who's louder. So here in the great state of Texas, hopefully we get a little rain this weekend. We need some rain. It's it's always dry, man. It's Texas's MO, dude. It's always, it's just dry state. It's good. I'd rather have it dry than humid. I'd rather have it wet or dry, dry than wet and all that. Because we all know what happens when it's wet and you get cold, and it's just not good. So, with that being said, I've come to a realization that and I only realized this simply because I used to be this way. When I would get full, right? When I'm like overwhelmed. That's what I mean by full. Whether it be, me and my 15 things that I always have going, which most people don't even have a clue what these 15 things are. These people know of one or two, maybe three of them, because they're tasks that I've taken on for them. And it's none of their goddamn business what the other 12 are. It's just not. And nor am I going to share that with them. One thing's for sure, you don't tell anyone about your plans for success. Once you do, then there are no longer your plans for success. They become other people's plans for success, hence the patent. So, it's occurred to me that some people, they have to accept. They haven't gotten to the acceptance stage of what I'm about to tell you. When you take on all these tasks, when you know what your capabilities are, and you've tested the theory of being able to do these things all at once and simultaneous, I call it simultaneous combustion, it gets pretty hectic, man. It gets downright mad at times. However, being able to maintain throughout this processes, I say processes, plural, because it's a dance, man. It's a dance that you got to know how to do the more than the jig and waltz and all that at the same time. It's multitasking at its best. It's juggling. It's juggling multitasking while multitasking. So it's like, walking, chewing bubble gum, slicing a loaf of bread, and then, doing the hokey pokey. But where I turned myself around was the realization, the acceptance of when is it enough? Because guys like me will just keep going and going and going, building and building and building until it becomes this snowball. Well, I take that snowball to the next level. Mine was more like an avalanche. So, but you have to accept the fact that you can only maintain at a certain number of whatever that is. Then you have to deal with the outside influences. Okay, you'll always have the people come to you and say, "Oh, maybe you're taking on too much, or maybe you just can't handle it right now." Well, says the person that knows of the two or three things I'm doing for them at the same time. They always say that because they don't know. But if they did know what the bigger picture was, what the bigger plan was, what my ultimate goals are, then they might shut their fucking mouth and stick to what they know, rather than tell you what they think they know about you. You see, So, but it's still no reason to get bent. It's no reason to get upset and frustrated and pissed off or act some sort of way, treat people some sort of way. That is no reason to do that. It's in fact, when you do that, it shows as blatant. I mean, it's just like, what am I, an idiot? But you don't say that. You just keep your mouth shut and go about your business. Let them say what they want. Like I said before, I've said it a million times, if not twice. You can't change what other people say or do. You can't make them say or do any certain thing. You can't prevent them from saying any certain thing. So why respond to it in a way that they might be trying to get that certain response out of you, or they're just so stupid or ignorant, we'll say, that they don't know what they're doing when they say it. Most times that's the case, the ignorance rather than stupidity. Some people, they're stupid, but there's a lot of ignorance too, and I'm guilty of the same thing. I've accepted that too. The acceptance part of anything you're trying to change to better yourself, the acceptance is always the first step. You got to know what you're doing, and you got to accept it and admit to it. And now you don't have to admit it, meaning go and telling everybody that's what's wrong with you. Heaven forbid, don't ever do that. Keep it to yourself, but know it, accept it, because you don't need any reassurance from someone else that that's what you're doing. If you think that's what you're doing, just fix it yourself first. Believe me, if it's that sort of thing, and you surround yourself with peers. Don't be the smartest person in the room. Sometimes we get stuck in that room because it's the easy room to be in, being the smartest one in the room. Right? So the thing is just, take it with a grain of salt. I've heard that expression before. Salt isn't sweet, but we need it. But acceptance, that's what this is about. You have to accept your faults. And then you can move forward with the process to fix them. Simple as that. But you have to have the acceptance first. So with that being said, hope you all have a fantastic remainder of your week. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Just another reason to look forward to tomorrow. And with that being said, God bless.